Evil Dead is a great movie. I really love it. Alongside Jeepers Creepers, it is among my favorite horror films. So imagine how damn infuriating it is. Like, it rivals McCain being called a maverick level of infuriating. To see idiots refer to it as a misogynistic piece of film. My general response to the article and the hacks known as Steve Rose and his other covels at The Guardian and in journalism in general, to him and his ideological covels who slander this movie, for them to, well, yeah, I would first like to say, firstly, go straight to purgatory, you cadre of cunts. Secondly, you pissheads are dead wrong. So wrong that your slanderous opinions should be labeled as heresy as far as I'm concerned. The movie is not misogynistic as far from it. I would contend it is, by the warped logic of these mental midgets, more misandrous than anything. Women are actually, in circumvention of the tropes of women being the victims, are made the aggressor, an instrument of victimizing the men. Two men, Ash and Scott, are tormented by the Deadites who possess the women and go after them. The women present in the film do suffer. I don't wish to diminish that fact, but they were eventually possessed and did not need to put up with too much more trauma beyond being powerless as they attacked their loved ones. One of the women was snuggled by a damn tree, so there is violence against women, but that does not connote misogyny. They are simply victims in a horror film. Men have suffered plenty in horror films in the decades of the horror boom. Does this necessarily make horror movies in general misandrist? Of course not. They are horror movies, and people suffer horrible circumstances at the hands of monsters and psychopaths. This kind of pretentious moral grandstanding by these critics is a little more than that, the ranting of impotent pricks who have always been itching to stir shit. And this has only been encouraged by the epoch of oversensitive snowflakes who look for things to destroy so they may build themselves up like the opportunistic ghouls that they are. Horror movies are not supposed to be politically correct. They tell stories, particularly dark stories, where the hero and his compatriots may not survive, where the hero is usually only able to save themselves, typically at the risk of living with trauma for life. That, or even they, are victims of the evil force which pursue them. The former was the case with Ash Williams. He survived only by luck and circumstance and suffered for it psychologically, the more important aspect of the fallout being survivor's guilt. So by nature, the protagonist must suffer through horrible events. For this reason, the hero must experience terrible events, if not a series of terrible events. Hell, this is something Raimi, I think, wanted to do for Ash, was to show him constantly getting beat down and rising back up. So no, I contend that Evil Dead is not misogynistic. Those who say otherwise are a little more than, well, I would borrow from Al Swearingen and say motherless prostitutes for attention, but that would probably not be worth my time. But yeah, these are people who are prostitutes for attention. They want attention, and unfortunately, again, but at the same time, I think these people should be called out for their bullshit. Like, this is actually a horrible thing to call a movie. Admittedly, when this movie came out, it was called far worse. I'm surprised these dumbasses haven't called it worse. Actually, no. Yeah. Like, misogyny would indicate that there was some malice intended towards women. I've seen the women who did the movies they were interviewed for. They never once complained about the misogyny, as far as I can tell. And I also think part of the reason why, and I don't think this movie is misandrist either, but you could argue that, but yeah, no, it's just stupid. This is stupid. Like, men go through horrible shit in this movie, but do you see men activists losing their shit? No. It's only these hipster dipshits who live in probably gated communities, have never been in danger of having a bad day in their fucking life to compare to what most people in the country go through. They are spoiled, rotten brats, probably have soy lattes every day, have nothing better to do. I say fuck them. This is an awesome movie. If you haven't, watch it. Or either that or do something more productive, which is something these journalists have never been in danger of doing.